Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming a organizer for a couple conventions. His name is Davidson Howarth, and I had reached out to his partner, Marina, about coming on the podcast, but she's, I guess, a little embarrassed by her Russian accent, and she didn't want to do this interview, so she referred me to Davidson, and I'm having him on the show today. He's the organizer for Powerhouse Con in Pleasanton, which passed this July, and next Saturday he will be organizing California Republic Con in Merced, California at the fairgrounds, and having him on today to talk about that. And I also want to ask him some questions about his comic strip writing. He's the head writer of Commander Cody Monthly, and I just want to get into a conversation about comic strips and comic books today. So yeah, here is my interview with Davidson Howarth. So, how are you today?
Good. Just enjoying the cool rain in Boise, Idaho. Nice and refreshing compared to the 90-degree weather we've had for the last 3 weeks.
Nice.
Not too bad.
Nice. Eating a lot of potatoes?
No, we don't eat much potatoes out here.
Wow.
It's a bit of a stereotype, but no, they ship all the potatoes out. They ship them out to other states.
That's like they don't eat French toast in France.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So you are the president of Colossus Girl Entertainment, and
business operations. That's correct.
Yes, and the head writer of Commander Cody Monthly.
Yes, you know that. I didn't know you knew that.
Oh yes, I'd like to research everybody I talk to.
Oh, amazing! Great.
And so, going back in time, did you start reading comic books and comic strips at an early age?
I did, all the way back to being 5 years in America, like most people do, and fell in love with Steve Rogers and Cap immediately, and basically just continued to read Captain America until around 1977. I started reading the Star Wars comics, the first run, original. And then from there, my family and I were going to England every summer because my ancestral home is in England, so we would go there every summer. Excuse me, sorry, my throat. Go there every summer, and I went to a sweet shop to buy some Jelly Babies, and I noticed a Captain Britain comic book. So when I'd go to England, I'd spend my summers sitting in an alley eating Jelly Babies and reading Captain Britain comic books because you couldn't get the Captain Britain comic books in America back in 77 and 78. So it was kind of special to be able to read those. And then the special issues they had, the Super Spider-Man issues they had back there, that a lot of stuff we couldn't read here. So a lot of my comic book reading in the 70s was a lot of British stuff during the summer, and the rest of the year back home it was all Captain America, Avengers, Micronauts, all the good 70s stuff, Marvel Team Up, all that stuff. I'm more of a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
I don't read too much DC. I do read, some Batman once in a while, and Green Lantern is probably my favorite DC hero, but for me it's basically all Marvel.
Yeah, I've always been more of a Marvel guy, and I do like, Batman and Superman for DC and The Flash, but that's about it.
Right, and I did read a lot of Charlton comic books, too. A lot of those, smaller publishing companies, and I was reading the Buck Rogers comic book, from the Field Gerard series back in 78 or so.
Right.
And I was reading those as well. Gold Key, I was reading some Gold Key stuff as well. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as for strips, were you into like Beetle Bailey and Richie Rich?
I wasn't too much into the comedy strips. I call them comedy strips, but, like the funny stuff like Garfield. And I think Family Circus was really the only comedic strip I really enjoyed. I would read like Prince Valiant. I would read the old Dick Tracy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been a big Dick Tracy fan. Even as a kid, Commander Cody, Dick Tracy, all of the jungle themed old serials, Captain Marvel series. I mean, a lot of that stuff as well. But the comic strips was basically, a lot of the action adventure stuff.
Nice. Yeah, those are really cool. In those days, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, think that not only the Marvel and DC comics would become big Hollywood blockbusters, but also there would be a convention every weekend in the world?
Well, it's funny you say that. When I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, believe it or not, I was going to conventions.
Oh, yeah.
There were smaller, predominantly 90% comic books. I was born and raised in San Jose, California.
Nice.
So there was a Doctor Who convention every year called Con. And back then, you were able to talk to the actors face-to-face and just sit there and talk with them. In fact, at one of the signings, I asked Richard Franklin, who played Captain Yates in the John Pertwee years for Doctor Who, and I asked if I can invite him out to dinner, and here's this 14-year-old kid inviting this British actor out to dinner. He said, well, I can't do it, but maybe tomorrow, we could, get together and just talk for a little bit. And he ended up going up to my hotel room with a friend of mine, and we sat and talked for about an hour, just him and me and my friend, and he was just the nicest guy. And back then, the Doctor Who actors were very approachable, not like today where you have to wait in line, they're well protected. Back then they were just really part of the fan base. You can just go out to dinner with them, hang out with them, get their autograph, take pictures with them. Pictures were free,
Yep.
And sometimes even autographs are free. So
yeah.
It's a far different world now than what it was back in those days. Some good, and some bad. Everything has pros and cons. So.
Yeah, it was so small back then. I didn't even know about it. The comic cons, for that matter, I didn't know about back in the 80s and 90s. But I knew about the horror cons because they had Fangoria Weekend of Horror up in San Jose. 'Cause I'm from San Mateo, so I remember that. But I didn't know about the comic cons and stuff. But yeah, I heard that they were really small back then, really empty. Not a whole lot of people were there. And yeah, the celebrities, were a lot cooler and didn't charge for autographs then. But if they did charge, how much do you think they charged for?
It was minimal. I mean, back in those days, Sarah Sutton, who played Nyssa on Doctor Who with the fifth Doctor, Peter Davidson, I remember she was only charging $5 at the time,
Yeah.
for an 8x10 photo and an autograph of her. But of course, me being 14, you're kind of smitten when you meet Nyssa in person, so, you're, as a young boy, you're kind of tongue-tied. But yeah, $5 for an autograph is a great deal back in the 80s. So,
yeah, that's reasonably priced. So did you get an early head start on writing comics?
Actually, a very late start, believe it or not. I've been writing since I was 6 years old. I was writing plays for school assemblies when I was in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, I didn't start until after university. Started working with Rose Estes at PSR. Wrote some with their Choose Your Own Adventure books. Did a couple of those before they petered out in the early 90s. And then I went ahead and went my own direction. And of course, TSR was eventually bought out by Wizard World and what have you.
Yeah.
So basically, I was just writing novels for a long time until, I started gaining friends who were comic book artists like Chris Marinan and, Walden Wong and John Hebink and Ethan Beavers, and they would tell me, hey, start writing some comic books. I think you would enjoy it. And the difference is I can write a comic book in a day. I can write a novel in a year. So it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. But when I write a comic book, it's more of when the artist is reading it, to perform their duties to do the artwork or the inking, what have you, or the lettering.
Yeah.
It's in the format of a movie script. They're very similar. So, and I've done lots of movie scripts as well. So, for me, it was easy kind of to just jump in, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, movie scripts are what I do. I do that. And I've done scripts for movies. None sold. Well, actually, one it didn't sell. It was just given to him, but it was right after the film Apocalypto, directed by Mel Gibson. Mm-hmm. And I liked the movie so much that I wrote it was kind of like a sequel, like the Conquistadors, going to invade. And he actually liked it, and he kept it and said he was going to use it, and he was going to make a movie with my script, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And he ended up changing it a bit, making it Vikings invading England instead of Conquistadors invading, Mexico or, the Latin American countries. Yeah.
And then that incident happened with him right after, where he was caught with a DUI, and, it was all over the press. And then the project ended, and that was it.
Oh.
So, I say to myself, if his big mistake never happened, then there probably would have been a movie,
Yeah.
Things like that happen. It happens all the time. So it's just, what can you say? Just shrug your shoulders and move on. And I did some commercial work with Netflix. Mm-hmm. And it was easy for me to work with them because I was in San Jose. Their headquarters was in Los Gatos. So it was very easy to take a 5-minute drive to their headquarters. And I worked with them scripting their first commercials before they were huge. It's when they were just doing, DVDs in the mail. And I did some of those for them as well. So yeah, the script writing, it's a lot of fun. It's to me, it's easier than a novel, but a novel, it's good because you can lose yourself in that world for, a year or so,
Yeah. I haven't sold a script either yet, but I got somebody interested, and I had a meeting in Hollywood back in April, so fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, a lot of people, they ask me that, how did you get into it? How do you, how do I just jump into the industry? And anyone can be in the industry. Anyone can do it. You just have to have the drive and the persistence.
Yep.
And they say, well, how do you give it to people? How do you put it in people's hands?
Yeah.
And it's just basically sending it to, to people in the industry. You just get their address or send it to the studios, and you're already in the business, And people say, well, how do you copyright your material? Well, if you can't afford copyright, what you do is you just take your script and mail it to yourself and never open it unless you have to take it to court.
Right.
Then your project has a date and everything. It's unopened and it's completely legitimate in court and stands in court. And a lot of people don't know that either. So there's a lot of little things that people can do that want to get involved and put out their material. They just need to write it. First of all, that's the first step, and research on their project.
Yeah, or you can get that paper that you can't Xerox.
Right. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Except very few people.
Yeah, several news ways against the technology.
Yeah, except very few people are printing scripts out now. They just have them on the computer.
Right. Right. I haven't written pen to paper in over 15 years.
Wow.
All computer. So, and the thing is now, because when I was doing pen to paper for so long, I'm in my 40s, so I'm still relatively young. Right with a pen for maybe more than a couple of minutes, or my hand starts cramping up because I've used it for writing in that position for so long.
Me too, yeah.
So right now with computer, it doesn't affect me at all, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. So how did Powerhouse Con and California Republic Con come to you?
Oh, well, that's a bit of a long... I talk too much. I'll try to keep it short.
No, they want to hear you, not me.
Yeah, no, I was a guest at several conventions. At the time, the publisher just had me doing Barnes & Nobles and Borders bookstores.
Mm-hmm.
And those were my book tours. Never thought about Comic Cons or anything like that. And then Borders started closing down. Mm-hmm. And disappearing. And then you start hearing that Barnes & Noble will be closing down like 200 stores in a year,
Right.
And I said, well, this is not good for the industry. Especially that was when the digital was really going big, the tablets and everything, and people, just downloading books. So I thought, well, how am I going to do book tours if the bookstores go out of business? So Marina, who pretty much takes care of all my book touring schedule, she said, why don't you try Comic Con? Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, well, you get in contact with Comic Cons and see if they'll let us in the door. And lo and behold, the people, they said, yeah, sure, Dave, bring them on over, and, we'll have them as a guest. And I was doing Comic Con. And at the same time, I was also doing a lot of stuff in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and in Moscow, Russia. I sell more books in Russia than I do in the United States, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. So at the time, I was doing, universities and bookstores and things of that nature in Europe. But in America, I started just doing Comic Cons. And I was just autographs and pictures and meeting fans and what have you. And one day, Marina said, I think I can do one of these Comic-Con shows. Mm-hmm. She has a background of organizing events for British companies in Moscow because she's Russian as well. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, I do know a couple of celebrity friends. If you can do everything else, I'll get the celebrities to come out for you. So she said, that's the deal.
Nice.
The first convention that she did was Campbell Con. That was back in 2015, and that was a big success. And basically, it was because that show launched everything else. And we thought, well, she thought, well, Campbell Con's a very intimate convention, personalized, and she wants something a little bit bigger. So then she contacted Pleasanton Fairgrounds and started, Powerhouse convention there. And then, next thing you know, it's going to be 2020. And for next year, she has 6 shows in 4 different states. So within 5 years, that's pretty impressive, for one person to do. And ever since she asked that she said that she can do these things, and I said I can get the guests for you. I've basically been handling all guests. That's basically what business operations is. That's my part of it, is just getting the guests for all the conventions. And Marina handles literally everything else. So.
Wow. Yeah, I made it out to. Yeah, I made it out to Campbell Con in 2016, just before I moved out here to Reading, and I liked the intimate little atmosphere it had. It was like a nice little, it was like a public recreational park space that it was at, or something. Yeah, it was really nice. I heard, unfortunately, Campbell Con has to move to Las Vegas now or something.
Right. Right, and I'll get a little bit into that, but in regards to Campbell Con, the reason why Campbell Con was formatted that way is to go full circle 180 to in regards to us talking about the conventions from the 80s and so forth, is we wanted Campbell Con to be like that, where you can sit with an actor and talk to them for as long as you want if you wanted to, with a very inexpensive convention. So we wanted to get that retro feel as well, and not for people to feel rushed or feel like sheep that they have to sign your autograph and leave.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave. You can stay there and talk to them. So that's so it's kind of to bring that retro feel back. In regards to Campbell Con now, moving forward into 2020, it was very unfortunate because Campbell Con was doing great where it was, but the supervisor wanted more of the tech companies like Netflix and Google to rent out the spaces instead of a Comic-Con. And what really upset me was, the supervisor of Campbell, who runs the Campbell Community Center, basically said, we don't want your type of people here. Meaning, we don't want these cosplayers here dressed up in masks and running around. And, we just, and it was insulting, and I thought it was in bad taste. And we said, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll look for another venue. And the problem is there's Powerhouse in Pleasanton, so we don't want to go to the East Bay, So we started looking at other venues, and there just was no other venues, believe it or not. If you look now in the Bay Area, you have SVCC, which is ran by Salt Lake City FanX. Now they run it, and everything else, you just have a couple of other smaller events there, which are having a hard time keeping afloat because the rates there are so expensive now that someone cannot just do a show there anymore unless you have thousands and thousands of dollars. You see? So what happened was Circus called us. I don't know how they found out we were looking for a place. But they said, why don't you come out to Reno? Reno is very Comic-Con friendly. We want you here. We'll cater to you, basically. Just bring your show here. And we thought about it. We gave it a long, hard thought because we love the fans, But if the quality of the show was going to go down, well, what's the point of having it? It's either you raise the show up or keep it the same, but you never want to lower the product, right? So we thought about Reno, and we thought, well, it's not that far from Bay Area, really, And we just decided to do it in Circus. The first Campbell Con, the first guest was Lana Wood. So she inspired Campbell Con greatly. In fact, she was the inspiration of the mascot for Campbell Con, which was Agent Campbell. He's kind of a James Bond character. Yeah. And that's actually what the convention's named after, not actually named after the city of Campbell. So we thought of Diamonds Are Forever. And our characters like James Bond, so it kind of connects, intertwines together. And that's why Lana Wood will be back for Campbell Con in Reno in 2020 to kind of solidify that, since she's the one who kind of started that as well. But a lot of the fans have already said from the Bay Area that they're going to be driving to Reno. So we're very happy about that. And for those who can't, we still have Powerhouse, which is in Pleasanton. So it's only a 20-minute drive from San Jose to Pleasanton. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Lana Wood's sister.
I know it's a mouthful. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you the short end of it. But.
That's okay. Lana Wood's sister, Natalie Wood, is one of my favorite actresses. I hope I get to meet her next year. That'd be cool. I've been trying to make...
Lana Wood is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to make it out to Powerhouse or Republicon the last 2 years because my friends Laurie Jacobson and John Provost do it every year and stuff. But I've been...
I love them. Yeah, they're great friends, right?
They are awesome. Yeah. But I've been stuck up here in Reading and stuff. I was going to cover Powerhouse Con this past summer, but I had a family emergency. And next weekend, I'm going to be in L.A. I'm covering Son of Monster Palooza over there. But I should make it out there next year, at least.
What I say to fans, there's a lot of fans that they don't want to go to a show unless it's there in their hometown. And the thing is, if you want to see an actor, especially with our events, You have to come to the event because they're only at, notice all the anchored, we call them anchor guests, which are the main guests that come to our events.
Right.
You're only going to see them once at that show. They will never come back again. So last year, if you wanted to see Eric Roberts, that was the only time you're going to see him. You're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
And, what I say to people, from San Jose who maybe want to come to Merced, well, I say it's only an hour and a half drive to Merced. It's not that bad, and you spend the whole day there, and you might have, it's no problem. And think of it this way. For a fan, I say, drive an hour and a half, see the actor that you want because you may never see them again, and think about me who drives 11 hours from Idaho just to put the show on for you to see that actor. Mm-hmm. So you talk about an hour and a half sacrifice compared to 11-hour sacrifice and all the work putting into the show so fans can see these actors. If you have to drive an hour and a half, that's nothing. Do it.
Yeah. I just had Eliza Roberts on the podcast this summer. Her and Eric are going to be at Santa Rosa Comic Con in October. I just found out, so I'm excited about that. I'll be making it down there for that. Right. Do you guys mostly get guests who live in the Bay Area or close to it in general?
Well, guests and who we decide. Well, basically all the guests that we get are people that I like, that I want to see. So I'm kind of.
Well, you have very good taste. You have very good taste. Is there anybody on your wish list? Is there anybody on your wish list you haven't been able to get yet?
Wish list. That's a really good question. Because there's so many actors out there. There's kind of a wish list that's. Well, there are people who've passed away that I have on a wish list that I would love. I would love Charlton Heston. He's the greatest actor that ever lived. Mm-hmm. People who are living, though, Sean Connery would probably be top of the list, people like that. I'm more very much of old Hollywood person. I love old Hollywood. I love old movies. I love old TV shows. I watch a lot of 24/7 retro app on my, Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of the older actors. Newer actors, they tend to be very pricey. A lot of fans don't realize that the promoters have to pay for these actors to be there, and a lot of fans think that actors come just to be with the fans and they're not getting paid. But in the convention business, the actors want to get paid, and a lot of actors like a Chris Evans, for example, Captain America from Avengers, he wants $50,000 just to walk in the door, and unless you're a big show like a Wizard World, well, you'll never see that. So what I try to do is get franchises that I enjoy, and bring people in who are not maybe a Chris Evans, but people who worked with him or people who worked with Robert Downey Jr., like for California Republic Comic Con happening next weekend, September 14th in Merced. We have Ingvild Isla from Rogue One. She was Princess Leia in Rogue One, and she's coming all the way from Norway. And this is her first American appearance, and it may be her last. So I say to Star Wars fans, if you're a completist, you have to get her autograph. This is probably the only chance you'll ever get it, and take a picture with her. So that was kind of a big, exciting news for us to be able to get her and to bring her to the United States.
Mm-hmm. What's an average rate? Does the guest get paid?
Well, it all depends. Actors who have FaceTime, then what that means for the novice is people who are shown on TV, like their faces, like a Gil Gerard. He was Buck Rogers' title character.
Right.
He'll go for a lot more than somebody who was maybe a voiceover actor for Transformers. And it could be the difference of maybe $3,000 to $4,000, $2,000. It just depends. But I like people with FaceTime. But we have voice actors too. I love voice actors. And we bring in several every year. And we just had Anna Medford in Oregon, and it's all voice actors. And what I like about them is they're very down to earth and they're very approachable. but FaceTime actors you like because you can look at them and you know who they are. Right away. We had Mindy Sterling one year, and the girl at the receptionist desk at the hotel almost fainted when she saw her at the reception desk.
Yeah.
You can't miss Mindy Sterling. And she was obviously in Austin Powers.
Right.
So yeah, it just depends on the actor, and some actors want to come out just to meet fans, so they're very inexpensive. And then you have others where going to conventions is their bread and butter, so they're going to be higher on the price range. It just depends on the individual and also the agent as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it.
Wow. And do you guys have?
Sorry.
Do you guys have Q&A panels at these conventions?
We do. California Republic Comic-Con. We haven't had panels before because the last couple of years we've had film festivals and concerts and things of this nature. This year we wanted to do panels because we love panels. And at Powerhouse, every main guest has their own panel. So we're going to have a whole day of panels. Land of the Lost Reunion will have a panel.
Nice.
Ingvild, Princess Leia will have a panel. Eddie Deason, Christopher Darga is coming out to California Republic. This is his very first convention, and he's been in the Star Trek franchise for years.
Right.
And he'll be coming as well. And Kira Buckland, she's a voice actor who's done several anime television shows. She'll be having a panel. And then Patricia Summerlin, I don't know if you know who she is. She's a wrestler from Glow Wrestling back in the day. And she was also in the Playboy issue with Kiss, I think back in 1988. But she will be there talking all about Glow. And Glow right now is popular just because Netflix Glow. So that'll be an interesting Q&A as well.
Yeah, I've been doing this podcast 2 years, and I've been trying to get my foot in the door to host panels at conventions. And it seems like it's a lot harder than it looks to get your foot in the door to do that.
Well, it's funny you say that because not for us. If you ask, you're in.
Really?
We were like with cosplayers. For example, cosplayers. People who cosplay say, I want to be a guest. How do I become a guest at one of your shows? All you have to do is ask. So if you ask and you can have something at your table like 8x10s that you can sell or something that the fans can see when they come to your table, we'll give you a table. No problem. So that's why at California Republic, we always have a lot of cosplayers because cosplayers love to be guests and like to interact with fans. So, but in regards to hosting, panels, we're the very same way. If you ask, you're in. But in the last 4 years, we've had Hardly Heroes podcast hosting the panels for almost all of Colossus Girl Entertainment events. And every year they say, we're in. So they're kind of they want to make sure they stay with us because for them to be able to host the panels, it gives a lot of advertising for their podcast because a lot of the panels we do are filmed by lots of media. And there's Hardly Hero stuff everywhere in the panel room. So that gives them a boost up with their podcast. But if one day Hardly Heroes decides they don't want to do panels anymore, well, the next person who has a podcast who would love to host a panel, I'm not going to say no to them. So I'm always open for that.
Nice. Wow. You posted on Facebook and stuff, I'll keep my eyes out for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next Saturday, September 14th, Republic Con at the Merced Fairgrounds, and you got a great lineup. Eddie Deason, the cast of Land of the Lost. Wesley Year's been on the podcast. Really great guy.
Great, yes.
Christopher Darga, like you said, and a bunch of other people I'd never heard of, but still a great lineup nevertheless.
Right, well, Ingvild, who played Princess Leia in Rogue One, she was also in Avengers Age of Ultron, and she did a scene with Robert Downey Jr., and like I said, she's coming all the way from Norway, the first American show, and will probably be her last. You probably won't see her again. She does a lot of shows in Europe, and she just doesn't come to the United States. But also, it is a Comic-Con. So, we have Walden Wong, who is still works for Marvel, and he does Uncanny X-Men, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel. He works for both Marvel and DC. He's going to be there. And then we just added a new Marvel artist. He's also done work with DC, named James Pascoe. I don't know if you've heard from him, but he hasn't done shows in California before. He's coming to California Republic Comic-Con to do the show next weekend. And he also was the artist for Batman versus Punisher. So That's pretty cool. And then we have Chris Marinan, who's kind of a staple because he is the artist for Commander Cody. So, and he'll be there as well, along with Tubi Duranovong and Omar Morales. So these are all artists and professionals. And so, if you're at a Comic-Con, you definitely want to see Marvel DC artists. So they can do sketches for you, So that's what I like. I like to get sketches.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job, Dave, and I'm glad Marina could connect us. She told me she was a little shy about her Russian accent, so she didn't want to come on.
Well, at the end of the day, Marina's the boss. She runs everything. And, these are her shows, but I'm just happy to work for her and keep these shows going. And, they're going to be going on for years to come. Hopefully in the future we can talk about California Republic Comic-Con's 30th anniversary. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. And you guys are doing a wonderful job. I support you, and I thank you so much for coming on today, Dave.
Excellent, thank you. And come on down when you can. I'd love to meet you in person as well.
Absolutely. I'll let you know when.
Excellent. Nice talking with you.
You too. Have a great day, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Dave Howarth. Ain't he a cool dude? Well, what can you say? A Comic-Con organizer who's that honest and that real, it's very rare nowadays. And like I said, I support everything that him and Marina are doing because there's a lot of shady shit going on behind the Comic-Con scene, stuff we didn't get to go into and stuff. But, there are people like Dave and Marina, they are keeping it real and keeping it honest. And that's why I support them. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.